We're still on the arms series, and this one is called Massive. In Psalm 51 and 91, we see the imagery used for God's arms are wings. In the shadow of his wings we find refuge, and under his wings we trust. I love this description of his arms being wings because wings are massive and protective. If we were to wear wings like in a costume or as an angel in a Christmas play, think of how much larger wings are compared to our hands. They're huge. And in the New Testament, Jesus mentions how he would have gathered his people often under his wings like a chicken does her children, but the people would not. Again, a symbolic use of something massive can cover a lot. Under these massive wings is a place of safety, and we're welcome there because we belong to him. I also love this imagery because an animal gathers her young under her wings for protection during storms, to hide them, to cover them, not erasing the storm, but protecting them in the storm. I read a statement that said this: the safest life and the most satisfying life is under his wings. So let's look at Psalm 91 closely and the massiveness of God's arms or wings. In verse 1 it says, we're under the shadow of his wings we find rest. Under his wings we find refuge. Under his wings there's no fear of pestilence, plagues, or punishment. Under his wings we're guarded so that nothing can harm or overtake us. So under his wings we are rescued and protected. The wings of an eagle can be up to 7 to 9 feet, way more massive again than hands. In that imagery, we're to learn the symbolism of being under God's wings. His arms are not like the arms of men, even though we have long and strong arms with muscles. Muscles and power are not enough when there's a need to be covered and protected. Just try covering all your children in a torrential downpour with just your arms and hands. They're not made that way for covering. I love to read Psalm 91 when I'm afraid, because when I'm fearful, I'm not at rest. I feel vulnerable. I want to escape that which is making me fearful, and I definitely want to rescue. I run to the Bible when I need to feel covered, and it's awesome to visualize these massive wings unfolding to invite all of us underneath, where there is no shortage of room. When a chicken gathers her young under her wings, it's not so they can live there. They wouldn't grow or function or be of any good in their little world under the wings. They're protected and covered, but then they're sent back out with the knowledge that under the wings is a safe place. I've read Psalm 91 many times, and if you look at it literally, it sounds like no harm will ever come our way. But we know in the context of the entire word that trials do come, but when we love him, we won't be destroyed by them. I personally have found it hard not to carry the weight of the worries this world brings, especially to those I know and love. And even the angst or worry of my own future. It's heavy. And I've read the verses where Jesus invites those who are weary to come to him and he will give them rest, those who carry heavy burdens. It's in that place under his massive wings where we can lay down our loads and know that he's aware and sees and weathers the storms for us. Just recently, I read those same verses again that I'd always read as being intended for my personal burdens to lay them down. But I replaced the pronoun with all those that come to him that are weary to lay down their burdens, the other people's that you're carrying, and not just my own. And it was like a light bulb turned on for me. Under the massive covering of our God, we walk under his wings and we lay down everything that's concerning us when we're out in the rain, or so to speak, or the fear or the predator lurking in the dark among our loved ones. We don't just crawl up under his wings and exit with the same worries and cares. We dump them and leave them there. That's the beauty of the massive arms of God. He's able to carry and cover that which we cannot and were never intended to do. So hiding under his wings isn't just a temporary fix until the wind and rain subside, but something takes place there while we rest. We find refuge, we realize there's no fear, we're guarded and protected, and then there's this transfer that then enables us to soar on wings like an eagle ourselves because we've waited on the Lord. Remember that verse? I love this. Under the shadow of the Almighty we find refuge, and as we wait out the storm, strength rises in our own arms so that we can fly. The beauty of the massive wings of God. Pretty cool.